What's up, everybody? This is your boy Mr. Maui, aka Raider Maui, and you know, I've never made a YouTube video before, but when I saw Nick Nelson playing, man, I just got so excited I had to make a video for you guys. Alright, so let's see how he did in his first preseason game. Here we go, third quarter, 8 minutes left. They see Nick Nelson, they're like, yo, let's go test this new rookie out. Alright, so we're gonna see a deep ball here. The receiver's kind of taller than him, but Nick Nelson able to defend the pass successfully, incompletion. Dude runs into Marshawn Lynch, just, hey, oh man, we all good. Shit. So there's a few things I really like from this play. Alright. The biggest thing though is that Nick Nelson had his head turned towards the ball. Man, we know that the Raiders have had problems with this for years, man. Dudes, DJ Hayden, I mean, list goes on and on. Looking at the guy, running straight into the guy, getting defensive pass interference called on him. But Nick Nelson has his head turned. He knows this dude stopped way too early, so he's not too worried. I mean, that's what it looks like. On to the next play, man. It looks like they're coming out in a pass formation. Nick Nelson's up here in the slot. He's ready for whatever's coming his way. All right. Ball snap. Next one. Boom! Wow. Nick Nelson gets in there and blows that play up in the backfield, man. Now pay attention. He gets a good angle. He's going up against a tight end on this play, man. He gets around that tight end and just blows that play up for no gain. All right, man. He shows us that he's not scared to get his head in there and get dirty. Now we go on to the next play, man. This is a 3rd and 10. It's an obvious passing situation. Raiders are in man coverage across the board. You know, this one I wanted to show you guys. I mean, Nick Nelson's not perfect. He gets called for a holding penalty on this one. And it looks like the quarterback was trying to go to that receiver that was being held anyways. Mr. Shareece Calhoun here gets a sack. I mean, that's really good for him. I mean, that dude needs some help out there to make this team. But anyways, we're focusing on Nick Nelson here. I wanted to include this one in here to show you guys, you know, break down this holding call that he had. I mean, Nick Nelson had pretty good coverage on this holding call. But, you know, the rules in the NFL make it really hard for these corners out here. They're about to show the replay here in a second. Mr. Gruden is real pissed, but I like that about Gruden, man. That's what we love about him. He's in good position here, sticks his arm out. Dude goes the other way. Nick Nelson's hips are turned the wrong way, so Nick Nelson grabs him, and the officials call that. I mean, that's a pretty fair call. I can't really argue with that one. Next play here, looking like a running formation. I'm gonna see Nick Nelson in some run support right here, but boom! Nick Nelson leads that tackle, stuffs the running back as soon as he makes contact with him. Now pay attention. Pay attention to how Nick Nelson throws that receiver off of him right here. Look at him. He's made contact with the receiver, throws him back, gets him off, sheds the block, makes the tackle. I think Nick Nelson showed us, man, he can play good coverage and he can provide some run support as well. Next play here, 3rd and 2. It's a big down. Now that's a tough one to defend. I mean, this dude's a small, shifty receiver coming out of Florida. He's an undrafted free agent, but, you know, these guys are hard to defend in the slot. You can watch the replay right here. I mean, Nick Nelson, you know, he does what he can, but this dude runs a slant in front of him. Nick Nelson's right there to make the tackle. You know, hopefully the inside linebacker, you know, he could have helped, but he got caught up in the guy kind of going underneath him. Next play, here we go. We got the 4th quarter. Now, this is a really fun play where Nick Nelson does a lot of good things. Quarterback gets flushed out of the pocket. He's on the run. He sees a guy open. Azeem Victor. Boom! Oh, he dropped it. Nick Nelson almost has the pick, but he drops the ball because he was trying to show his teammates, look, I got the pick. I mean, it's preseason. He's going to learn from that. But let's watch the replay here, all right? Decent pass rush. Quarterback's on the run. Azeem Victor does a nice job coming up here, put pressure on the quarterback. And Nick Nelson, real sticky, has his head turns toward the quarterback the entire time. Watch here. You get a nice view. He's looking at the quarterback. He knows where his guy is, but he's still looking at the quarterback, so he knows exactly when the ball is thrown, goes and makes a play on it. I love that play, man. Here's Nick Nelson returning a punt. I mean, he had a bunch of these in the game, but I don't expect him to be our punt returner, so I didn't put too many of these But it was the next play, so I kept it in there. I mean, he does a nice job. He didn't have any fumbles. You know, he reminds me of TJ Carey, you know, returning punts and playing defense. It's the next play here. 3rd and 4. 4th quarter. Under 2 minutes. This is when Nick Nelson really turns up. He's in the slot. Woo, baby. I like that. I like that. Let's watch a replay of that one. All right, he's in the slot again. Going up against that same receiver, trying to run a slant on him. Nick Nelson. He reacts quickly. Makes up that space. Makes a play on the ball. Almost gets a pick right here. Easy. Breaks that ball up. See, that was the same receiver before that ran that slant on him, but this time he makes a play on the ball. Now that there's a flag on the play that doesn't have to do with Nick Nelson. That was somewhere else on the field. And, you know, those broadcasters just kept showing the lines the entire time. So here we go. They're showing the lines. I'm going to let these last 2 minutes kind of play out a little bit. Because this is when Nick Nelson really turns up and makes some game-changing plays. You know, the announcer is going to show another replay of that same play. And you'll get to see in slow motion how Nick Nelson gets his hands on the ball and almost rips it out of the receiver's hands. Now, this dude didn't have too many picks in college. I don't think, maybe he didn't have any, if I remember correctly. But he's got some ball skills. On to the next play, man. Here is a solid tackle made by Nick Nelson. Just, you know, reacts to the ball. This dude's a tight end, so that's no easy tackle. But Nick Nelson gets in there, makes a nice tackle. I want to show you guys that one. Now, here's a nice play by Shareece Wright. You know, he's one-on-one, no safety help. The receiver's obviously taller than Mr. Shareece Wright, journeyman coming over from Buffalo. You know, he gets his head turned around, makes a play on that ball. I think it's the coaching. That Derek Ansley, the DB's coach, has done a great job with our DBs. Look at the way he gets his head turned around, jumps up, breaks up that pass. Again, Derek Ansley, I believe, has done a tremendous job with these DBs, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. Here we go. Now, there's a minute left in the 4th quarter, and the Lions are driving. They need a touchdown to win the game. You know, they're getting kind of close. So, Nick Nelson's over here up in the slot. He gets beat on this play. It's a nice route run by the receiver, and you know, Nick Nelson's trying to defend that deep ball. But you know, that's just a tough route to defend. Nick Nelson was lined up off the man, so he couldn't really get his hands on him and disrupt his route. But you know, I want to show you guys this one. This is one that he did get beat on. Here's the next play. Woo, baby! This is a fun play. Nick Nelson's up here in the slot again. This time he's coming in on a blitz. Boom! He's unable to get to the quarterback, but he jumps up and gets his hand on the ball and knocks it down. Matt Castle made a good read, throwing it to where Nick Nelson's coming from. But Nick Nelson shows those ball skills, shows that awareness again, jumps up and makes that play. Man, this one got me excited. And you guys might have seen a lot of people talking about this one on Twitter and on those various blogs online. So this was a huge play, and it led to this very next play, which basically seals the game for us. You're about to see Mr. James Cowser, the bilingual defensive end, come in there, make a strip sack, fumble recovery, Raiders ball. Game over. Great way to end that game. Matt Castle complaining about the tuck rule. Man, all in all though, what a game by Nick Nelson, man. First preseason game, he comes out and shows us that not only can he defend the pass, he can also play the run really well. He's real physical, and he has amazing ball skills. Special shout out to Coach Derek Ansley, who I believe is the reason why our DBs already look so good this preseason. Now, it's only been one game. Yeah, I'm getting a little carried away here. But, you know, Nick Nelson was supposed to be a much higher draft pick anyways. I mean, this dude has talent. He just fell in the draft because of that meniscal tear. So, great pickup by Reggie McKenzie. I can't wait to see what he does tomorrow against the Los Angeles Rams, baby. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I plan to make much more in the future. You know, subscribe to me and stay tuned for additional content coming out soon. Leave me any comments, suggestions below, and go Raiders!